Okay, so what does it mean to FOIL? What does that mean? Okay, we know what it stands for, at least we should at this point, but what exactly is foiling used for? Foiling is specifically a method of multiplying binomials. Okay, it's really important that you recognize we are multiplying binomials. Not just any polynomials, but multiplying any polynomials will follow similar rules, but that's not what we're talking about today. Today we are specifically going to be going over foiling binomials. So, you guys probably do already know what foiling stands for. We've got our first, we have outside, we have inside, and last. Okay, so what we do with this now, if we get ourselves two binomials, let's say x plus 2 and x minus 3. We know that these are binomials because they've got two terms. We've got x and 2 are two terms, and then x and -3 here are two terms. We can multiply these binomials together using the foiling method. Now, the foiling method specifically, this here is referring to our first two terms. So in this binomial, x is our first term, and in this binomial, x is also our first term. So we would multiply those together as our first step. That would qualify our f in FOIL. So x times x is x squared, and we know that because these x's are raised to the first power, and anytime we multiply terms with the same base or variable, when we multiply them together, we add their exponents, okay? I'll put that there so that we can remember that. We are adding their exponents when we multiply them together, so it gets us x squared, okay? For our outside terms, those are going to be the terms furthest away, the ones on the very outside of this expression. So this is going to be x times -3. So x times -3 is going to be -3x. But it's important to remember as we're multiplying these together, since these two terms are being combined and these two terms are being combined, every term that we come out with here is going to be added or subtracted. And the way that we recognize, is it added or subtracted? Let's see. Let's write it over here. Positive numbers are added. Negative numbers are subtracted. Okay, so if we have a -3x here, we know that that's going to be subtracted just due to it being a negative number. Okay, our next step are inside terms. These are the ones on the very inside of this expression. Okay, so this 2 times x is going to get us our inside term, which is going to come out to be a positive 2x. And remember, if it's a positive number, we add it. Okay, we add positive numbers. Okay, and then the last thing that we do here, we take our last term. So this 2 is the last term of this binomial, and this -3 is the last term of this second binomial. We're going to multiply those together. And a 2 times a -3 is -6, and since it's a negative number, it's going to be subtracted. Okay, now this isn't the last thing that we do, because as you guys can see, we've got two like terms here. And anytime we see like terms in an expression like this, we can always combine them. Okay, so this x squared and the -6, they don't have any like terms, so those are going to stay the same. But this -3 plus 2 is going to get us a -1x, and we can just write that as a -x because we can assume there's already a 1 there. Okay, and that's going to be our final answer here when we FOIL together x plus 2 and x minus 3. And something that is important to note, anytime that these variables in here are the same, these are always going to be like terms. Always, always, always. And we're always going to combine them.